Alright boss, you may have killed me 4 times already, but this time I'm getting past you, even though I only have 11 health and no health potions. I can do this. All I have to do is focus, get rid of all those little slimes. If they get to the bucket, then I'll heal them up for 500 apiece. We don't want that. Let's make sure we do this right. If we focus and we really try, then we can do this. Dodge. We must be careful. 3 health. Can still do this. Come on. Tiny little... No. Not again. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am SocioPsycho, and today we take a look at Our Darker Purpose. This is a roguelite RPG by Avidly Wild Games. RPG element is a story basis, pretty heavy in the story, and plenty of choice. Is it hard? Is it fun? Well, let's find out, but first let's go to the options menu. Now, first thing to note is the toggle full screen. Most annoying aspect is every time it loads in a window mode, and you'll have to come back and toggle full screen every time. Now, the key rebindings are nice. They aren't too complicated. There's not much you need to know about the game and movement paces, but they do rebind easily, with ease, and all of them with no problem. Your sound controllers are completely split up, which is something I'd expect to see. The music in the game is actually well done, and it helps propel this atmosphere of a darker world. Although graphically, the game is not anything amazing, as it is a sort of a paper-esque style laid out, it does look fair and decent for what it is. When we go into lore and achievements, as you can see, there are 4 chapters. Now, I haven't even made it past the first chapter, and it is a sort of compendium of all of your boss kills and everything else. That's where the lore comes in. The game is pretty difficult. When we go into upgrades, as you can see in class schedule, as you progress forward and complete different bosses and chapters and levels, you will unlock different abilities. These abilities cost little gems to be able to buy, then once you buy them you can equip it, but you can only equip one at a time. There is a way to equip more, and we'll go into that now. When you go into your counselor, now your counselor, you kind of just give him credits. The more credits you give him, he gives you a passive upgrade. As you can see, our juice box capacity has just increased, which is the same thing as health potions. Juice boxes are health potions, so we can carry one more health potion. And here you can see we have one more, we just upgrade, so we have one more capability to equip one of our passive items, so when we go into the game, we can actually start a little bit stronger. Now, the game is just and fair in the fact that it gives you these options to grow, but it is very demanding in how much time and effort you have to put in before you feel a sense of reward. Now, it's definitely there, but it's not an easy game at any means. It's not a negative commentary, but it is one to note that the fact that the game requires a lot of time and effort before seeing reward. When we go into item log, as you can have noticed, these are all the different items that you come across against the world. These are just a way to show you what you've collected. It's nice that they have this sort of gathering of all the items, so you can go over what item does what in case you see it in a world, and you can just memorize it easily that way, or you're curious about what something does. The items are very varied in the game, and they are actually done very well. When we go into statistics, you have everything that you've accomplished or not accomplished in the game. As you can see, my multiple failures and my patheticness, which is my playthroughs at this game. So, what is Our Darker Purpose, you ask? Well, like I said, it is a roguelite game. Very easy in the movement keys, and very easy in the control keys. Firing and moving and rolling is very simple. As you look at the bottom middle of the screen, you can see Q is drink a juice box, which is the equivalent of drinking a health potion. R is chalk ability, which blocks and stops projectiles, and then you have E, which is any special items. Special items get dropped by champions. These champions are creatures that are red. You can also find special items in different ways, but you'll definitely find them by the champions. Now, the thing about this that is nice is the fact that when you level up, in between the items you find, or the abilities that you gain when you level up, there is plenty of variety in the game to sort of make you feel like your character is growing in strength. Obviously, you don't have any abilities that you can pick or choose, but in between the items you find and the power-ups you pick, you definitely do have a sense of growing more powerful as the levels continue and the further you get in. Now, the trade-off with that is the fact that the game is randomly generated, and while it may be fair in its generation, it is still very difficult. Now, a Chapter 1 first floor mission will not throw at you Chapter 4 creatures, but it may have very difficult layout for you to defeat, or you may end up taking way more damage than you want to, just as any randomly generated map would end up consisting. The game is balanced fairly well, but at the same time, to combat the fact that how well balanced it is, it does have a high level of difficulty. If you are new to roguelites, this game will definitely mess you up and may even put you off roguelites for a while. If you are experienced and looking for a challenge, this is definitely for you. Now, what I like about the upgrades is the fact that you don't get swarmed with them, and you go through and you find different passive upgrades. It sort of is you have to work for them, but when you do find them, it really is something that is special rather than something that is just, oh, another item I picked up, yippee. The items mixed in with how you level up, and the randomization of what you are offered every time you level up. As you've been able to see, you get 2 books to choose from when you level up. These books are not stagnant in the order that they are presented to you. What you gain as a level up may be different each time, which is nice because it makes it so it doesn't feel like the same playthrough. But how does all of this compare and feel when you actually are in combat? And that's really one of the more important things. No matter how many abilities you have, do they matter in how you feel powerful? And yes, you do feel capable of surviving the game, but it comes down on skill more than anything else. While items may increase your stats, and your leveling up will definitely help you overcome certain creatures, the way the enemy's layout, the environmental dangers, whether it be balls of metal and spikes rolling through different areas, the environment is one that tries to destroy you. But it is random, so you may only end up with seeing a few dangerous environments, or you might end up seeing a whole bunch. But the fact that the environment ties in with the monsters, and it's all trying to kill you, and the world perpetuates this atmosphere of dread and daring, where you collect coins and gain experiences and level up and buy stuff from vending machines. All of these things tie together very well done. I've never felt as if I was too slow in a battle, or that I never progressed proficiently as I was leveling up. Now, many times I may feel that I was too weak, as it is a tough game that is to be expected. It is not one to take lightly, but it is one that has an artistic image of its own and an idea of how to play and handle that doesn't berate the character with nonsense. Really, my main complaint with this game is the fact that when you are playing through, there is no save option. Now, it is a roguelite, and I'm not talking about a save file for your character, but a progressional save would have been nice. Real life gets in the way, and sometimes you have to move or stop playing for whatever reasons. Getting all the way through chapter 1 almost, or getting to a later chapter, and leaving the game because you need to go do something else, and coming back and knowing you have to start all over is a real deterrent to play through the game again. This is unfortunate, as the game does have some great merit to it, but playing it too much at one time can get a little tedious because of its difficulty. It controls just fine, and you have many different types of bosses that you do end up fighting. Normally you'll end up fighting this dragon boss in the very beginning, which is perfectly fine. I mean, he does get a little annoying when you have to face him repeatedly, but while you do have a chance through randomization to face a different boss than him on the first level, it doesn't happen so often. And really, I feel that's where the majority of the difficulty comes from. is that the levels are fairly small, and as you upgrade and continue through them, you have to make a decision on which way to go. These decisions you cannot backtrack from. The levels are not overly too large, and that is nice, but it backs it up every level with a boss before you can move on to the next one, and that's really where the main difficulty comes from. Because if you have issues or trouble, and you use too much healing or you get too much damage taken throughout the level, when you fight the boss, you may not have the capability to survive, and it's this continuational having to prove yourself again and again and again, rather than wade through different characteristics. You feel as if you're trying to survive, rather than you are fighting to be an epic character in the roguelite world. And this is decent, for it fits into the theme of the game, upon where you're not some uber badass hero. You really are just trying to survive this really abusive place. But it does have variation in the monsters, as well as what you face and the type of bosses you have, and many of them will just kill you. The game is hard and not for the faint of heart. Is it fun? Is it challenging? It can be. It can also be a little bit too much to bear in at one time. But if you like roguelites, then this game will definitely be for you. Thank you for watching, for I have been SocioPsycho, and I can gladly recommend this game to anybody who may be interested in it. Just keep in mind that you will die, and you will die a lot. Thank you as always for watching and for your support. In the comments below, let me know what your favorite roguelite ability that you have come across in the ages of playing these types of games have been. And I look forward to seeing you next time.